Today I cycled for the first time in like 9 days because I had a illness for like a week. Well, it took out a week. I actually did really badly by the standard I'd set. And what I mean by that is the last cycle I'd done, I was able to do 52.4 kilometers in 2 hours. Today I could only do 48. It doesn't sound like much of a difference, but the speed at which you cycle is a lot different. I was on track to 53.5 kilometers, but 2/3 of the way through, I had this massive loss of energy. If I'd kept at the pace I'd gone the entire ride, I was sure I would pass out. I would have passed out. So I slowed down and kept cycling. When you're cycling at a pace you know you're going to not meet your target, you sort of question, oh, what's the point? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? But I wanted, out of principle, to cycle at least 2 hours. That whole cycle leading up to that point as well had been really uncomfortable. When I'm describing the cycle, there's this really distinct feeling you get when the feeling brain wants to stop doing an activity. It really tries to wriggle out the situation. What I mean by that is it will try and find any excuse, literally any. It will go to the lengths of the earth to try and find a reason to stop cycling because it wants the pain to stop. Because my tailbone, I hurt it a few days ago, I couldn't sit back on the bicycle as well, so my quads are burning. They're burning up because I don't cycle solely with my quads when I'm doing this 50 kilometers. This time I am, and it really takes a toll. Both the energy, my body, and my legs specifically all just simultaneously sort of not give out, but sort of give up on me. My mind still wants to complete the session, but they're unwilling to comply, so I have to cycle at a lower speed for the rest of the time. I am proud I cycled for the whole 2 hours because I very easily could have just coped, found an excuse to stop cycling, but I didn't, so I'm happy about that. If anyone else is in a similar position where they set a goal and they can't meet it, just my advice would be make sure you at least meet your time goal, because if you have a distance and a time goal, you're not always going to be able to make the distance, but the time you can. And my thinking was, if I can just cycle as fast as I can without passing out essentially, I would be proud of myself for trying as hard as I could in the moment. Now, with the energy level dip, I think the culprit for that is just because I didn't eat before I cycled. I just thought if I had a couple dates and some honey during the ride, that would be enough. But I've learned now that you do need long form carbohydrates as well. You can't just rely on sugary boosters to get you through because it just doesn't, it's not practical or realistic. So for the next cycle, I'll make sure to eat a lot of carbs, whether that's pasta, potato. The main thing is just leave it enough time to digest. I researched a few days ago, I think the maximum time for all food to fully digest is 2 hours for it to leave your stomach. Because once it's in your stomach and in your intestine, it's not going to affect you when you're doing exercise like cycling or running. So you need to wait for it to digest for sure. Yeah. If you are wondering why I'm cycling for 50 kilometers, it's because I read Can't Hurt Me, and it's a really interesting take on how your body copes in stressful situations, painful situations, and situations you don't want to find yourself in. If you put yourself in uncomfortable situations throughout the day, other situations and experiences will be less uncomfortable, because the body and mind is built to compare. Sadly, it is. And that's why Instagram and TikTok and all social media is so bad. You can give the advice, don't compare yourself to other people, but you just catch yourself doing it because it's instinctive. It's been built in. You compare. That's the whole thing with learning. It's comparing what you did last time, your mistakes, to now. You can't tell someone not to compare themselves to someone else. It doesn't work like that. The only way to make that dynamic a little bit better is to improve yourself. But then again, the expectations are unrealistic on things like Instagram. So deleting them is really the best option. At least temporarily, because I have people messaging me on Instagram, and it's hard because they've integrated it so smartly with reels and posts. Yeah, at least TikTok you can sort of keep separate because no one messages anyone on TikTok. Yeah. All right. Was there anything else? Yeah, pretty low energy video for me today just because I'm so tired out. I slept well, but just been doing so much. Better to be too busy than not busy at all though, hey? But that is for sure. Eating healthily is going great as well. You feel so much better eating organic food, genuinely. This morning I had porridge, which was organic oats with organic milk and some cinnamon. And the specific cinnamon you use is the sweet. I don't know the exact species, but there's 2 different cinnamons. One of them is a lot more expensive and it's very sweet tasting. The other one is less sweet and cheaper. But very nice meal. All in a metal pan, so no leaching, with a wooden spatula as well, no leaching. Yeah, I mean, it was literally the perfect breakfast, because with meals, you can always find where something's wrong, where your health is at a loss. Not at a loss, but it's bad for your health. But with that meal specifically, it was like nothing could have been different. But the meal I just had, which was pasta pesto, chicken breast, and organic parmesan. 2 things instantly that come to mind about it not being a great meal is the chicken was not organic, and I had pesto, which is a bunch of different ingredients. Although it's not bad intrinsically, it's just the fact that it's got loads of ingredients, which isn't ideal. But yeah, I mean, the chicken, you can't really go wrong. Like, compared to what most people are eating, that's like the healthiest meal they'll ever eat. But yeah, need to get more chicken as well. I'm going through quite a lot. I have a pork belly to cook as well. That would be really, really nice to meal prep into different meals. Make sure I need to cook it well though. With the cycling as well, I need to get to a point where I don't listen to music, because that's when the real mind callousing takes place. I'll tell you. I used to do runs without headphones, and I don't know, you just come back and your mind's just silent. And it's a really serene and peaceful feeling when your mind isn't thinking constant thoughts. It's very rare. Normally in the day, unless you've meditated or exercised long like that, your mind's just getting new thoughts all the time. So if you have an issue with that, that's definitely a way to stop that. Yeah. That is all from me. Yeah. Cool.